What is style? By definition, style is a distinctive appearance, typically determined by a principle according to which something is designed, or a design of a peculiar form. The question I'm interested in is, does style change? Or is it immortal? And yes, we've probably all seen old pictures of our parents or caretakers and thought, what the hell what was going on? Oh my God. But I hate to be a prude, I would determine that to be more fashion than style. Fashion, by definition, is simply a popular trend. Style, however, is, I think, best described by its second definition: design or make in a peculiar form. The idea that something stands out, not because of contrast to the norm of the culture, but instead something that just is. Maybe that's something as simple as a social norm of gathering for a wedding, wearing suits. But I think style can be more than just that. It's something that makes you feel something. Something that when worn makes you feel like you're right where you were always supposed to be. Maybe it's something as simple as workout clothing, or a complex suit, or whatever the hell's going on in fashion these days. Ugh. Simply put, style is just something that you know when you see it. And unlike fashion, that changes or goes against whatever the current norm is, almost as an act of rebellion, style is timeless, and it shows you the possibilities of the world that may have even been lost, or sometimes something brand new. Something that makes every fiber in your being say, that's so cool. Almost like a kid seeing Spider-Man for the first time, or a firefighter for that matter. I know it sounds obvious. Think about it. How weird is Spider-Man really? He's a red guy in spandex with gigantic bug eyes. What the heck is that? But there's something about that stands out. And just like the new Spider-Mans have shown, we just love when Spidey gets a new suit. So that brings us to this video. A couple years back, a lot of people told me to watch an anime called Trigun, or Trigun, something like that. I always heard good things, and I can still vividly see the guy who was the main character. He was sporting a dark red jacket and had blonde spiky hair with the most stylish circular shades you've ever seen, and of course with the backdrop of a desert behind him. I can still vividly see it to this day, despite me only seeing the cover art a couple times and have never actually watched the show. I wish I could say I watched the old one, but there's already a surplus of good shows to watch that are new and utilizing the best of animation, lighting, color, the whole shebang. It's just really hard to go back and watch old stuff, but it was still on the list, however far down the dreaded anime list goes. But then there were murmurs of the show getting a reboot, and I was over the moon. They also let it slip that it was going to be using the newest and greatest of 3D animation, which had some people worried, but after seeing the potential of 3D animation in Arcane and many others, I actually thought it could work. Of course, leading up to its release, Crunchyroll released a bunch of clips before the show actually aired, and from the first minute of the clip I watched, I already knew I was gonna love this show. The main character is hopeful, and let me just say, this is the best looking character I have ever seen, and I've been watching anime for a long time. I know some people are probably gonna miss the OG grizzled kind of design character, but dude, come on. This show is gorgeous and dripping with style. Everything from the main character's iconic orange shades and heavy as hell Magnum revolver that looks like it could put a bullet in God, to the ravaged sandy plains that just make the color stand out so much more. That blanketed desert, the neutral sand color contrasts with the beautiful blues and reds. That to the cleanest and most crispy of animations. Everything is style in this anime, from when we meet Trigon's brother and he does this.
Long ago, God rained fire onto the city of fools.
Just the cleanness and the fluidity of this floating metal, constantly yawing back between water and rigidity. It's beautiful, and I know he's the villain, but come on, man. When do you see a villain that looks like this? Oof. Even enemies look like they are the most terrifying, futuristic nightmare hell you could ever envision, but also look at them. Absolutely badass and just, oh. And even the characters that they show and then throw away immediately after the episode still look at least this good. Let's play a game. The game is simple. Pick whatever you think is the side character. Even the side characters look like main characters if we're contrasting with anime. It's crazy. And their design is so sick. No expense not made. As I'm watching the show, I'm continually waiting for the shoe to drop and the anime's budget to run out somewhere. But it is yet to happen. I'm on episode 9 and I had to make this video. The best part of all these characters is that none of them are outright rebellious, kind of like fashion, or even just wearing things for the sake of wearing things, if you know what I mean. But instead, all of their design immediately signals a lot more about them. For instance, look at this icon right here. His tattered suit tells you that he's been through a lot and doesn't really care how he looks, accompanied by a cigarette always in his mouth, signaling also that he may not be afraid to die, or at the very least doesn't value his life that much. And that alone would be enough to give an understanding of a character. It's not something we haven't seen necessarily before, which is exactly why none of this really describes style to me. It's a look, it tells you a lot, but with one simple yet heavy move, they pull it all together. The cherry on top is that the Gravekeeper is carrying around a heavy, tattered cross that's essentially his same body weight and size, if not heavier. This gigantic cross looming overhead constantly as he picks it up, drops it. Every time he sets it down, there's a giant weight to it, so it just constantly is feeding. How heavy is this thing? Why is he doing this? What's going on in this? Why is this guy, what is his story? And it's extremely awkward to maneuver. It's a cross. There's no handle really. And after a lot of awkward maneuvering and heavy-weighted grunts, only for the deadbeat-looking Gravekeeper to do something like this? And just like that, you're like, holy shit, oh my goodness, this is the best character, oh my god, I can't contain myself, that was insane. And that happens time and time again, man. No character even looks like they're on the same planet, and that's what makes the show so good. Everything, everywhere, in every backstory, in every reload, and in every moment is this perfect and wonderful style. In my opinion, nothing I have ever watched, in my years of watching anime and entertainment of any kind, have I ever seen this level of forethought put into this show and how everything reflects this impeccable badass style. As far as the show goes, my simple takeaway, at least right now, is that it is brilliant, albeit quite heavy. I found myself being both excited and a bit terrified to see what happens next. You see, this is a story where the main character rarely wins, and seldom is the strongest. People betray him and misunderstand him, which in turn leads us, the viewer, to feel frustrated on his behalf. But this is also one of the most beautiful things about this story. I want to make a video of the pure badassness of Trigun, or Trigun, but the more I think about it, the more I think plenty of people have already probably beat me to the punch. But the hope and the beauty in this tortured soul that is yet to give up on humanity, despite all our flaws and potential for cruelty. And in the middle of all that, you have this incredibly good soul, constantly being tested again and again, never yielding to humanity's darkest side, and always doing the most that he can with whatever he has, and never expecting nor wanting anything in return. In fact, he's usually given less than when he started. And that makes Trigun, to me, one of the most truest of heroes I have ever seen in all of my years of seeing heroes, old and new alike. Well, that and Ranker of Kings Boji, of course. Is a hero amongst heroes and all that. But that's why Trigun's story, at least right now, 8 episodes in, is so damn good and is just dripping with so much style. Side characters that are interesting and fun in a world that is just a tad bit ruthless and relentless, for that matter. Couple all of that with beautiful 3D animation and new techniques in lighting and effects, and this is straight up a masterpiece. Although it maybe already was.